Aaron, it's great to have you back on the show, and it's fun because I get to talk to you about something brand new. So, how have things been since the last time we talked?
They've been really good. Thank you. Yeah, busy.
You don't say, man. You don't say. I mean, it's not like you ever have anything to do in the line of work that you do. I mean, it's just a lot of hanging out and being imaginative and creative, or whatever the artists are saying these days.
If only, yeah.
Oh, man. Well, dude, I mean, of course, the last time we talked was about your first solo record in a long while called Real Life, which I'm still digging on. And I know it's been doing really well. And the title track has made it to #1 on the Christian rock charts, which is a lot of fun. And I don't know that many people saw that coming, because, I mean, it's not a full-on rock track, but yet it still has that kind of attitude that works.
Yeah, that was definitely crazy. I mean, it was like, I think it was #1 for 7 weeks.
Isn't that awesome?
Which is totally, it was awesome. I mean, it's totally unexpected, but it was very cool.
Oh, man. I love it when it happens just kind of out of the blue like that, too, because it's always kind of amusing, because, you have some of these bands who are like, definitely they're in the pocket for what you would expect a song to chart on a rock chart to be. And then it does okay. Maybe it doesn't do this or that, but, it feels like it was engineered for that. And then something kind of comes out of left field like Real Life. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, hey, cool. I like this. It's different. And then it does really well. So I'm all about that.
Awesome.
Well, of course, the reason why we're talking today is because of a new duo that you're doing with some dude named Jesse. And so let's talk about this new project.
It's called Blank Books. It's a project with my brother, Jesse Sprinkle. Okay. And it started off as me wanting to flex my rock muscle, kind of go back, basically the antithesis of Real Life, to be completely honest. And because I love everything, I love it all. I love guitars and I love synthesizers and I love everything. But I was just wanting to do this, and I was like, I can't play the drums. I'm going to have a drummer involved. I was like, man, Jesse and I haven't done anything forever, and that's totally stupid. So I brought it up to him, and he was super pumped about it. And then we've just sort of been developing it and working on it we started, on this batch of songs, we started like 2.5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But then I got busy with Real Life, and, I'm busy with producing other artists and stuff like that. So we finally rallied and finished it up to get it out, this first EP out. And, I'm a free man, contractually speaking, for the first time. Really, this is so crazy, but really since about 93.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, we thought it would be fun to just release it ourselves and just drop it. So we dropped it a week ago today. Actually, I'm so stoked on it. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's getting the kind of nostalgic 90s rock vibe from it that we very much intended. It's definitely not full on throwback, though, I don't think. I think it still has a cool, modern feel to it at the same time. It gives you both, the sense of familiarity and something new. And the response has just been crazy. It's been so fun to be directly connected with our incredible supporters, our fans that are, helping us spread the word on it, because we're the only marketing we've done on it is just our personal social media, and it's exclusively on our website via Bandcamp right now. Is the only place you can get it. It's not streaming anywhere or anything, so you can buy a digital download or a CD of it, and it's just been a blast. It's just so grassroots. I'm not used to this, and the connection part of it is just awesome, to just directly connect with people. And I think people, I know for myself, I really enjoy supporting an artist when I know that my support is going directly to them. It's a completely different experience than just this sort of vortex of whatever when you buy music. You don't know where that money's actually going and who's getting that and what portion of that money is actually going to support and kind of ensure more of what you're supporting to happen in the future. And I'm not demonizing labels or anything by saying that. I'm just saying there is something special about the kind of independent thing. And I've worked with a lot of independent artists over the years, and as of late, I've worked with a bunch as a producer. But it's just exciting for me to be able to do this on my own for the first time in a while.
Yeah,
and So I don't know.
That's awesome, dude. So now let's delve into a couple of things. First off, I mean, a lot of people who may have either heard of you either because of your producing or because of the album Real Life or some of the more recent things like maybe Fair or things like that may or may not realize that, of course, you were in kind of one of the first Christian alternative rock bands called Poor Old Lou.
Yeah.
How much of a cue did you take from that project into this one?
I mean, I definitely feel like the influence that was there for sure. And, the thing about my brother and I is we started playing music together when he was like 14
right.
and I was 16. And up until Poor Old Lou broke up in 98, I think. I had never not been in a band with him.
Right.
So our formative years, our roots of writing music and performing music and making records were completely together. And, Poor Old Lou was such a springboard for me for everything that I do now. And, we had the privilege we were signed to a label right out of high school. Jesse was actually still in high school. So yeah, definitely that. And then my first band that I fronted, my kind of second band, was called Rose Blossom Punch. We just did one full length on 5 Minute Walk. We recorded an EP that never really officially came out. But yeah, there's definitely I get a lot of Rose Blossom Punch vibes from this project too, probably because I wasn't the singer of Poor Old Lou.
Yeah.
So there's definitely more of that style and that kind of 90s thing, because that band was in the 90s. So
right, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, part of the excitement of our people around this project, a lot of the people that really reacted to it immediately are old Poor Old Lou fans.
Right.
So, and they're just excited to see it, my brother and I doing something together again. Technically, for the first time since 2001, I guess, when Poor Old Lou did a reunion album. Definitely cool vibes.
Sweet deal, man. Sweet deal. What was it like working with Jesse again? I mean, because like you said, it had been quite a bit, since you guys had really performed together, much less doing a whole recording and producing and all that kind of stuff. But how was that working relationship for you guys this time around?
Man, it was so cool. It was so different. I think a combination of the fact that this project had no precedent, we were able to really do what we wanted. There wasn't any expectation. So that gives you sort of this blank canvas. And then really the biggest thing is he and I have grown and experienced so much separately since the last time we did anything together.
Right.
He's been producing and performing a massive body of work on his own with other people. He produces other artists and has a studio in upstate New York. And so both of us, going down our kind of separate paths and then reuniting, we brought so much to the table that wasn't there before. And also, the older you get and the more experience you get and stuff, the ego falls away over time. And that stuff that, especially, if you can imagine being in a band as teenagers and being brothers, we really used to butt heads a lot.
Oh, yes. Old days. I can understand how that would be.
and now, that's gone. We're just on the same team. We're just having fun. We just want to make excellent music, and I couldn't be more proud of it. It's just so fun to work with him again. And I've always thought he was just such a fantastic drummer. I've had him play on some stuff over the years. I brought him in on the Dead Poetic record, which is how he actually ended up in the band. And he played on a Cutlass record I produced. And, he's just awesome drummer. So,
nice.
Yeah, it was just great.
Sweet
reunion.
Sweet deal. So now how did you guys work out? Because I know that you guys both have obviously the ability, but you guys are both producers. You guys, I assume, both write songs. I know you do, and I assume Jesse does as well.
Yep.
How did that work split out? How did you guys kind of divide up what you were going to be doing in this?
Well, this first EP just to get it off the ground and get it rolling, we split it up. And it's because we had no budget to work with, literally $0.
Right.
It was like we had to make it work just with our resources that we have. And we happen to both be record producers and have spaces to work in. So that worked. But
yeah, for sure.
I would start a demo and flesh it out to where I felt good about it. And once I decided, let's do this one, then I would send it to Jesse, and he recorded his drums himself in New York and then upload the files back. And then we kind of work back and forth. And then he did come out a couple times. He came out one time and we kind of did some finishing up out here.
Right.
In Tennessee, and we have some video footage of him tracking drums and us doing some stuff together. I'm going to be putting together just a little video for fun in the next few weeks, just to put out there so people can just get a little bit of behind the scenes of what was happening, just, for documentation purposes. What we want to do in the future, we would like to make another record, probably a full length, if we can figure out a way to fund it a little more and be able to spend more time in the room together, more time kind of writing and jamming, like in the same space. I just think that would add even more of a dimension to the next project and, help us to grow it a little bit. We're so familiar with each other's ways that doing it over a long distance wasn't really an issue at all for us.
Yeah, that does seem like that would be hugely helpful. I mean, because I dare say, even though I've never produced a record, I've never been in a band that recorded a record, it does feel like there is a certain amount of feeling each other out that has to happen either between new band members or a band and a new producer or even a new engineer that takes up a little bit of time, whereas you guys had so much history that allows you to just kind of just plow through it as quickly as one can.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Now, here's a weird question, and I'm sure that this is one that will come up again, I assume, but with it just being the two of you, is there a possibility or is it possible, I guess, for you guys to be able to perform these songs in a live setting with just the two of you if you wanted to?
We've talked about playing out a little bit. It's definitely something that I would love to do. There's no specific plans. If and when we do, we definitely will be adding a couple people for the live lineup.
Okay.
I mean, I've already got friends just like since we dropped the EP last week texting me like, I'm in the band, by the way. Like, just so you know.
It must be terrible to have such a hard time.
Yeah. So, and, that sounds really fun to like the thought of like, putting together a short set and with, finding a couple more friends, another guitar player and a bass player and just opening for someone, going out on a run and opening for someone else. That just sounds so fun to me. I would just love to do that. Again, it's just a resource thing for both of us to be able to take the time to get away and do it. But I think, I'm hopeful that something will happen in the future. With that.
Nice. Now, how long has it been since you've played live with somebody on a tour?
Oh, man. I mean, Fair played a short tour run with Isley in 2006.
Oh, wow.
That's the last time I've done anything like that.
Wow.
I mean, I haven't even played a show in like 4 years.
Woo! What was the last show?
Actually longer, 5.5 years. It was right before I moved to Tennessee. It was in Seattle. It was a solo show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that, that's another thing that I'm starting to kind of really miss. And I'm starting to try to figure out how to make a plan to add that back into my life.
Right.
Performing,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I haven't played a show with a band for, 7 years, probably.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, we do, of course, want to play a couple of tracks off of the EP. Is there a couple that you have in mind that you think would be good ones for us to showcase on the show?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people are really digging the second track, Find My Way Again. People are really liking that one a lot. I think Hungry Ghost is another really good one to play, as an introductory song to what we're doing.
Sure.
I don't know. But you can play whatever you want. I mean, there's only 6 songs, and I really like them all. I think I had 12 songs for this EP that we just picked the 6 best and finished them. So I feel really strong about all 6 of these songs. Lean In is another one that people are really stoked on, the last song. But I think Find My Way Again and Hungry Ghost are 2 good ones to start
Sweet
with.
deal. Now, is there any plan to try to push just like one of those songs to radio, or is that just kind of one of those things that is down the road, or maybe not even going to mess with?
I don't know. I mean, this is such new territory to me. I really am trying to only do stuff as it makes sense to do it.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? And not like make too big a deal out of anything. But I also don't want to sell it short. Like
right.
My worst nightmare would be that no one would know about this record, because I think it's
right.
I think it's worth knowing about.
Yeah.
I mean, if I do say so myself. That being said, this is all new territory. So, one of the reasons that I wanted to drop this record the way that I did and not do, a crowdfund campaign type of a thing with it is I just wanted to test the waters and just see where our people were at and how much can we do. The fact of the matter is as exciting as it is to release music on my own, I would prefer to spend the majority of my resources making the music, not selling the music. You know what I mean?
You don't say.
I would love to be able to do as little business as I can.
Right. Sure.
And focus on the quality of the songs and the production of the songs.
Yeah.
And just, just make enough that I can keep doing it. That's my dream. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, I'm not in any sort of delusion that I'm going to like get rich off of releasing my own music. It's just not going to happen, period. If I can have it pay for itself, like, that is epic as far as I'm concerned,
Sure.
So, and the response has been awesome. Like, I mean, I have nothing to compare it to, but it's been really neat to see. At some point I will get it up on Spotify and Apple Music and iTunes and stuff. And then next year sometime I'm probably going to do a Kickstarter to do pre-order for vinyl.
Okay.
Because a lot of people seem like they want vinyl. I can't personally take the financial risk of making it because the setup fee's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so I would do a quick crowdfund, basically, where if we made enough to make them, then we'll make them. And if we don't, then everybody gets their money back, basically.
Sure.
Like, nobody's, so just so we can, because I would like to have it on vinyl just personally. It would be cool.
Well,
I know a lot of people feel the same way. So,
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, just taking it slow, trying to figure it out, and hopefully giving people something that will last, that will stay with them for years to come. That's kind of all I really ever care about, is making non-disposable music.
That is kind of a tall order these days, because especially with the streaming services, it's very easily to listen to an album once and move on to the next thing and never run out of new things to listen to. But I'm finding there are albums that I do like to come back to, and it's nice when that happens because it feels more meaningful.
Agreed.
Sweet deal, man. Sweet deal. Well, cool. Well, I think the last time I had you on, I probably asked you what the least rock and roll thing about you is, or the other way of saying it, the most un-rock and roll thing about you. But since you're in a band with your brother and brothers talk smack about each other, I want to ask you, what is the least rock and roll thing about Jesse?
The least rock and roll thing about Jesse? Well, so I think a couple of the things I can think of would, to some people, seem very un-rock and roll, and to others would seem very rock and roll. So that's the weird thing about your question.
Sure.
One thing is he owns a tea company that imports and blends tea.
Nice.
Which maybe is pretty not rock and roll to some people.
Right.
But some people might think that's very rock and roll.
This is true.
The other thing about him that drives me crazy, that I will just air out right now, is he does not and never has owned a cell phone of any type in his entire life.
Who, what?
Yeah, that's right. You heard me. You heard what I just said.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So what you're saying is he's slightly difficult to get in contact with on a regular basis.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have had a cell phone forever, and I'm slightly difficult to get a hold of too. But if he's not in his kitchen when you call, he will not hear the phone ring. That's and as much as I do envy that, it's also it's incredible to me that he's made it this long without a cell phone.
Wow, that makes it about 20 years since cell phones have been cheap enough to like actually own?
Yeah. Yeah. He's just holding out.
Now, now I know that this is making a lot of presumptions about financial things, but have you ever thought, just for the sake of breaking his run, ever thought about just buying him a cell phone and seeing if you can get him hooked?
It doesn't have anything to do with that.
Oh, I didn't think it did.
No, I know. I mean, but that's why it wouldn't matter. If I bought him a cell phone, he would probably be bummed. He'd probably be like, "You could have bought me something I can use."
Right.
So you bought me this.
This is true. This is true.
I really think that I'm honest when I'm saying this. I'm a little bit jealous because part of me has this romantic idea of what it would be like to not be tethered to, the computer in my pocket.
Right.
But that's just him. He's got that real hippie thing about him that's just ingrained from how and where we grew up. So it's as annoying as it is, it's also admirable.
Yes, absolutely, man, for sure. Well, dude, my final question is kind of random, but here in about 15 minutes, I'm going to be talking with Andrew from Project 86. What should I ask him? I've interviewed him before, and there's the standard fare of that he's they're coming out with a new record and it's about to drop. But is there anything that I should ask him that I might not otherwise know from an insider?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Ask him why everyone thinks he's so mean.
Okay, all right.
I'm just kidding. Don't ask me that.
Well, I think I can answer that. It's that I'm going to eat your face stare that he has when he's performing. I think that's what
it is. And it's funny because I met him way before I ever worked with them.
Right.
And I was totally terrified of him, but then I just think he's one of the literal coolest people in the entire world. I love that guy. I haven't talked to him in a long time though, a long time.
Well, I'll tell him to hit you up on your cell phone.
So just say, ask him this. Why haven't you called Aaron Sprinkle lately?
Now, if he asks, should I give him your number?
Sure.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Just don't give it to him on the air.
Yeah, no.
No,
that would be the most horrific thing ever. I would never get an interview with anybody ever again.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Oh man, well, dude, it's a pleasure as always, and man.
Likewise, anytime.